welcome back, YouTube. Sorry about that loud clap, but welcome back, YouTube. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back, homies. Hi. Today's not really a podcast. I know you guys are used to podcasts, but I'm trying to diversify the content that I make on this channel. So it's not so much the it's just podcasts. Podcasts are still gonna be consistent throughout the channel. But I want to and branch out a little bit more to just be a little bit more creative on my channel, and just kind of get to share other sides of me that maybe you guys don't necessarily see by just listening to me talk. And today's topic is why I dropped out of school, why I stopped going to school. Probably gonna title it "Why I Dropped Out of School." Maybe that's more like engaging, right? And if you're new here and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. As like I just mentioned, I do podcasts every week, and my podcast is called Me Versus Myself Podcast. And on Me Versus Myself Podcast, I get very personal and very deep into how I feel and the things that I'm going through and how I'm going to deal with certain stuff, and also just me documenting my mindset, my goals, my ideas towards me achieving some sort of success, some sort of financial freedom. And yeah, here's to that. And I'm excited to bring you on today's topic because it's obviously a relevant thing, as a lot of you guys are going back to school. And I meant to record this Monday and have it up maybe by Tuesday, but today's Thursday already, so I've kind of been kicking back. But regardless, why I stopped going to school. Okay, I technically would be in my second year of college right now. I would have just started my second year. And the thing is, when it came to my first year, I literally didn't know what I was gonna do when it came to school, right? I wasn't sure how what I was gonna do, really. I knew that I had to go to school at the time. I had to be doing something. I had to be productive. I had to be working on my future. But at the time, I was so lost and so confused as to what I wanted to do. So, when it came to college, I was I know I don't want to do regular school, because getting out of high school, right? You're out of school, and then you get a summer off, and then you're well, fuck college now, right? And normally, I feel everyone's kind of just okay with that. But for me, it was I don't know what I want to do, right? I don't know what I'm gonna be working for. So why am I gonna sign up for classes? Why am I going to do certain things and do things that don't make me happy to work and to lay the roadmap towards my future? It's yeah, I'm working on my future right now, but it's I don't know what my future is. So how am I working towards there? By doing simple GEs. And the thing was, with my general ed, I was I knew I didn't want to take math. I didn't want to take certain classes because it was fuck that. That's just not what I wanted to be stressing about last year, and especially this year since everything's online. That's not one thing. That's not what I wanted to be dealing with. I didn't want to be dealing with oh, I have to do an essay and I have to stay up, because a lot of people just stay up the last night and do their essays, and then it's I didn't feel the need to put myself through that. So when I went to college for this semester that I did, it was I took a cinematography class because I was interested in making videos and how cameras work and how I can maybe get my hands on the camera and play around with the lenses and learn a little bit more about that. So I learned about cinematography, I learned about movies, and that class was really cool. But also I took an acting fundamental class because I thought I wanted to get into acting maybe, or if it came to me acting or making movies or recording something, maybe I could act in them, or play the part or design a part and actually experience that person, that character. So that was cool. Those two classes were cool. And the thing was those classes were interesting and I liked them, but I was I don't know what I want for my career wise. Growing up, I was never one to be oh, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be this, I want to be that. It was just I never really thought about it, because it was just I don't know what my career is going to be. And even in middle school, right? In middle school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Although like I knew that I could maybe do something in YouTube. And the thing is like I've always felt this like itch towards this space, towards creating, towards, you know, having a platform and building an audience that really like cares and genuinely is like interested in what you're doing. And like as like from a young age, I'd always see myself like in this position, and not in the position of like, you know, where I'm at now, but like I'd see myself like with the fans, you know, like doing meet and greets or doing like, you know, just meeting people and be like, yo, I watch your videos. Like I'd always imagined that for myself, and I think that's very cool. So in 8th grade, I guess I've just kind of always been unconventional, because in 8th grade I've discovered esports, right? And like for a good 2 years I was very focused on like that, and you know, I wouldn't go out to hang out with my friends. I never really did anything like that in like high school, because I just was playing esports. I would get home for weekends, it's like, okay, it's my time to play Call of Duty, and I'm gonna play this and get good at this. And I mean, I'd say I was pretty good. And you know, I had a little team going, but it never really amounted to anything after that. It was just kind of like, oh, like this is kind of just a pastime. And after a while, I ended up getting like a girlfriend, and I stopped playing so much, and kind of that got me off task and like off track of like that goal. So I did kind of play myself there, but so it was never like I thought about like, okay, I want to be this for my career. I want to do this for the rest of my life, because I don't like that really. I don't like the thing that's like, oh, I have to prepare myself for X amount of years so I could just do this for the rest of my life. Like I like having the open schedule of like, okay, I want to do this right now, I want to do this right now, and maybe like next week I'm gonna try doing this, because simply why not? You know, I've always been one to think like, why can't I do something like that? And the thing is like, it's not really like encouraged that you're like jumping around and trying different things. You know, it's like, all right, go to school, get a job, buy a house, settle down, and it's like, that's it. And it's like, and then it's just a cycle that you get trapped into. It's like, I'll go to my job so I can pay my bills, and I pay my bills so I can live, and I can live so I can work, and I work so I can pay my bills, and then I pay my bills so I can live. And it's just a cycle. And for me, it was like, I don't know, like I'd rather find a different way to make money for myself. I'd rather find a different way to, you know, do something that benefits me in the long run and sets me up for the future, but also doesn't tie me down to one specific thing. And the thing was like, I don't have anything against college at all. Like I genuinely believe that it's good and it does good. It's just for me, in my experience, it wouldn't work. It doesn't work because I was just never really like a good student. Even in high school, like it wasn't like, maybe the school system failed me or I failed the school system. But everybody knows in high school, like literally it's a joke of like how, and especially now how advanced everything is, like literally it's not hard to cheat your way through. And public school also, like that's one thing that doesn't really like unless you really have to be held back, you'll be held back. But like for the most part, they'll just push you on to the next level. And I found that out in 8th grade when I didn't graduate on stage, and they made it a big deal, like, oh, you're not culminating. But regardless, I moved on to the next level. So I didn't graduate on stage in 8th grade, which is like, oh, wow, you know. But I was like, oh, wow. So even if I had a X grade, right, I had this grade in this class, and that makes me ineligible to graduate, I'm still moving on to the next level. So it was like, okay, you know, it's not super important. Sorry, I'm so used to drinking water on the podcast that it's kind of weird that it's like a video format right now. But yeah, they just push you through, and it's very easy to cheat nowadays. And like, not that I'm proud of it, but you know, like a lot of my senior year, 11th grade, a lot of high school was just cheating, like copying homework, copying fucking, you know, like doing literally the homework during warm-ups, and it's like do like in 5 minutes, and you're copying your homie's homework because you didn't want to do it the night before, because you knew that if you did, you could do it in 5 minutes in class. Like, so that became that. And the thing with that, like, it doesn't appeal to me now that even go to like college and like have like so many homeworks to do, so much things to read, to just memorize it for like a test to get a grade that lets me know that I'm eligible to do these things, right? It's like I could go to school to learn how to do a podcast and learn all the technical sides behind it, or I could just go for it and learn as I go. And maybe I don't learn the same amount, but say while I'm grinding, while I'm trying to figure it out, you're at school, and maybe we're working towards the same thing. But at the end of the day, like after your schooling is done, say it's 4 years, and my podcast goes on for 4 years, I've built, say, maybe 20,000 subscribers, for example. And it's like, how to run a podcast, what cable connects here, what audio does this, what this, and what. But it's like I've already established a foundation, while you having a foundation of knowledge that you now can start building. But it's like if we see where we're both at, like maybe we're kind of in, we're not that far apart. So for me, it was like I'm not super behind anybody. It's like by not going to school doesn't make me less. Because the thing is, even at college, even at universities, a lot of people aren't fucking like, they're not there to learn really. They're there to be, you guys know the university mindset, I guess. It's not just like study. It's like there's a lot of other things that come with it. One is like being free, having parties to go to, going and doing this thing and doing this and experimenting with this thing. And it's like, what's different than fucking not going to school? It's just not being in that mindset of like, oh, if I waste, I can waste certain time, but when it comes to like the test, I just have to wing it, or I'll just like blah 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 blah, and I'll get it done. And like to me, it was just like I knew that if I stayed in college, I'd somehow find a way to just get by. And then it's like, if I just get by, I get my fucking degree. So it's kind of like, I'd rather fucking go out in the world and experiment. And even then, it's like, if a lot of people aren't going to get their career started until maybe like 4 more years, 3 more years, 5 more years, maybe even like 6, 7 if they're going to grad school. So it's like, I'm going to try to build my career now and set myself up now. So hopefully by the time I'm their age, I'm the same age as the people that are getting out of the school and getting into their degree, I'll have, like a more I just have experience. And I don't know, that gives me sort of comfort, and I think that that's the way that's going to move me forward, and that's what's going to give me what I want, essentially. And like the thing is, college is for some people, like and like literally, like it's not a bad thing to go to school. It's really not. But for me, it was just like I knew that if I found a way to just get by, I'm gonna just get by. And it's like that little safety net of like, if I do my homework this day, or like the teacher doesn't go here, or she doesn't check attendance, or blah 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 blah. But it was just like, I don't know, I don't want to deal with that right now. And my mom always tells me, go back to school. But it's like, Mom, like I know that I'm gonna be doing bigger things than I would if I would be going to school. Because if I go to school just to please you, like I'm just gonna get by. And yes, I might get a degree at the end of the day, but what does that really matter if like I have this much going for me, So I'm gonna keep grinding my podcast. I'm gonna keep grinding this YouTube channel, and I'm gonna keep grinding the several businesses that I have in mind towards, to achieve financial freedom and to achieve financial success, and just any sort of success, right? If I have the freedom to just travel and maybe buy some land and be able to just settle down somewhere and just like that's it, I'm good. And that's the thing, is like I don't need much. So for all I know, I work a regular job, save up to buy some land in some other state, have like 2 acres, maybe even more if that, like, and just be gone and be done with this, like win the game and just get out, right? But yeah, thank you so much for listening and watching. This is just why I guess I felt the need to let you guys know why I don't go to school, or why I stopped going to school. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep trying this, keep going at it, keep creating, and we'll see what doors open up. We'll see when Me Versus Myself starts growing even more, because guests are coming on the podcast very soon, in about a month maybe. It is in a month. It's the 1-year anniversary of the podcast, and I've said that I'd start doing guests after the 1 year anniversary. So that's coming real soon, and it's gonna be cool to experience and be able to tap into several different kinds of networks of people. Like, say I have this person on, and somebody that likes this person or that follows this person, or one of this person's friends listens to my podcast, and like, oh wow, that podcast seems dope, and they start listening to my channel, and they start, it's just tapping into other networks that I think is going to do really good for us. So that being said, thank you so much for watching. My name is Jesus Guillen. This is the Jesus Guillen YouTube channel. Please consider subscribing. Please consider leaving a like, as when you like the video, it kind of boosts it more out to other people. So if you would like to help me out and do me a favor, I'd appreciate that. But also, if not, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Goodbye.